All right, y'all, what's going on? This is John with the last Global Learning Project video log interaction thing. I'm here today with Avi, who is the international student I was interviewing for all this. So we're going to get right into it. As far as strong feelings that we experienced before, during, or after the interaction, I mean, the first time you meet anybody, you're not sure if the personalities are going to match or not. I never met Avi before. I wasn't sure, what his background was exactly. So I was a little bit apprehensive about that. But he and I actually got on pretty well. We run into each other at the gym a lot. So I didn't have really strong feelings about our interactions except for relief that we seemed to get on okay, and an appreciation for how much harder he had to work to get here than I did. So, Avi, what do you got?
Yeah, so before I met him, I was feeling like I don't know how's it gonna go because no one has ever interviewed me before, and while we were talking, I felt like it's going really well because no one has shown this much curiosity about getting to know me and getting to know about the culture and the education system in my country. But after everything was done, so I saw it was going very friendly. He was actually showing a real interest, not just for the assignment and the project. So it went really well for me too. And then I used to see him every day in the gym, as I said. So all things, and now we're more like friends now. So that's good.
Things that we felt definitely about coming after the interactions. Just doubling back a little bit here to, an appreciation for, how easy I had it coming to MSU. I mean, my family were college graduates. I've got the GI Bill, foot in the tab for my education. So, for me to end up at MSU was pretty much just packing my shit up into my truck, packing my stuff up into my truck, and driving to college. But Avi's journey was quite a bit more longer than that. So appreciation. I was grateful for how easy it was for me to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it was totally different. I figured out how life is totally different in two different countries. The things that I used to worry about in my high school are not the same that he used to worry about in his high school. And then what things that I have to go through, before I came to the college, I had to spend almost a year to figure out how to get the things done so I can go and study abroad. But that's not the same in America. You know English, you don't have to write those language exams that I had to. And then life is much simple when you are studying in your own country. And then also when we went to the farm, then I saw the farming techniques they use are not the same as what we use there. And also they focus on hybrid vegetables, hybrid crops, and we just try to go with the mainstream ones, and there's huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. What about myself, positive or negative? I've done interview type stuff before. It usually hasn't been a series or kind of a battery of interviews, but been more standalone. So I'm comfortable in that format. My weakness here has always been planning or tightly coordinating things for us to do at, say, a site visit like with Chad's farm. I wish that I had mapped that out a little bit better. Chad is kind of a difficult guy to nail down, especially towards the end of the season when the harvest is changing, what's available to do on the farm, and he's got school that he's juggling as well. So that's a strength. That is a weakness of mine that I should spend a little more time on. That's really what I got out of it.
Yeah, after this interview, I realized how far I have came. There was a time when I couldn't even speak English very well, and now when I was talking to him, and then I realized, oh, finally I'm actually doing this, and then that gives me confidence. I am doing things better, and I'll probably try to do much better in the future. And that's the best thing. And for the negative side, I was kind of feeling bad for my country. We are still trying to bring up our education system so we can do better. Not too many people in our country study that much. I'm from a state where people don't really study. It's 10% of the people who actually go to the high schools and college. But after doing all this, I was feeling very proud of myself that I'm making the difference. So that pumped up my confidence.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm on an education, a history education track. So things that I might do differently as an MSU student. Education across cultures and across time is something that I'm becoming more and more interested in. You often don't notice the different perspectives that people can have until you bump into them. So there are assumptions that we make about who should be educated and about what they should be educated. That is inspiring. I am now inspired to investigate those questions a little bit more in my course program, insofar as I can, than I otherwise would be. So, yeah.
And in my case, in my rest of the life at MSU, which is probably 2 more years, I'll try to get to know more and more students from different countries, because as I got to know more about his education system from his high school and the life that he had lived, I'll try to get to know more cultures so that I can learn more and more, and I can share my culture. It will help me make things diverse. So that's what I'm planning to do, because I am here to learn, and I like people to learn more about me. Yeah.
Right on. So as far as things that might influence me as a learner and possible educator, this actually kind of overlaps with the previous question, just because of my degree program specifically as a prospective secondary education major. So how I'm going to progress as an educator and how I progress as a student are related here. I guess I've always thought myself to be sympathetic to people not choosing their circumstances, and people coming from much different environments and having to navigate a new culture, a new set of norms, in addition to just doing the academic legwork. So I've been sensitive to that additional burden. My dad was an immigrant and had to deal with a lot of that. But moving forward as an educator, just continue to be sensitive to that, and to not to make excuses for people or buy into a kind of bias or bigotry of low expectations, but just be sensitive to the other work that people have to do just to sit in this classroom that my students don't have to do. So, yeah, that should wrap it up. Thank you, Abhi.
Yeah, thanks.